2025 questions and answers. So anyone has any questions, well, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna and Radharani in the holy name, we'll try to give an answer. Radhe.
Is it true that we must say Kartivrata to one person, otherwise our Kartivrata is like doesn't have any effect? Is it true?
Is it true?
Is it true that we need to reveal your Kartik Vrata to some person?
Only one person.
At least one person. Otherwise it will be nishfal.
The question is asked, is it true that we should tell our Kartik Vrata to one person? If we don't do that, we won't get the fruit or the result of our Kartik Vrata. Well, the answer is, you don't have to tell anybody about your Kartik Vrata. Generally, you don't tell anyone. And we don't want any fruits from our Vrata. It's called nirmama. It's called a kinchan, niskinchan, desireless. The whole life of a bhakta is simply to please Krishna. So we don't understand anything we're doing, bathing, sleeping, dressing, cooking, raising children, teaching, parikama, japa, puja, it's all for the pleasure of Krishna. Hari Tosha, simply to please Krishna. That's all, that's the life. It's not the brata, it's the life of the bhakta. But the sadhachar, the behavior of Vaishnava, there's two things involved. To be successful, and there's three things to be incorporated into any endeavor in bhakti to be successful. First thing is the mercy of Krishna Kripa, Guru Kripa, and Sankalpa. You have to make a Sankalpa first. First you get the mercy of Guru and Krishna. And then you make your Sankalpa, then you have to do your endeavor. It's called your sadhana. Then you depend on the result of Krishna, whatever he wants to give you. But the result is automatic. As soon as because everything you're doing is seva, and seva pleases Krishna. So every brata, every movement, every breath, every word you say in bhakti gives you a result because it pleases Krishna. It moves you closer to Krishna and attaches you deeper and more firmly to Krishna. There's no backstepping in bhakti. It's only forward marching. What is that verse? Nihabikrama nashosti pratyavayo navijate somalavesya dharmasya chayate mahatobe. It's a verse in Gita. It says, Nihabikrama, there's no loss in this endeavor. Little bit of progress, you get eternal result. You never lose. Everything is accumulating. Every day you're putting 1 penny in your bhakti bank account. Every second. If you want to make that kind of analogy, every second you breathe, you're putting another dollar in your bank account. Bhakti, devotion. But so generally a devotee, a disciple will approach the Guru to get blessings. It's called Ashirvad. So if you talk about one person you're supposed to reveal to, it shouldn't be any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You go to your spiritual master, because he's your personal, individual, direct connection to Bhagavan. Kripa Shakti Murti is Sri Guru. He's direct, Sakshat Bhagavan, in human form. Acharya Mam Vijnaniya. So you go to Guru and you say, Dear Gurudev, with your blessing, with your mercy, I would like to do some extra seva to please Radharani and Krishna and Kartik. Can you suggest some seva? Or I have an idea, and he may say, what do you want to do? What extra seva do you want to do? And then you will say, then the Guru will say, yes, that's a good idea. No, it's not. And then he'll give blessings to do that seva, extra seva. All seva that we're doing every day of our life is by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Sometimes my guru, my Baba guru would tell me, you ask me a question. Who's chanting your japa? Are you chanting japa or Krishna chanting japa? And I, being the fool I am, I said, I'm chanting japa. Yeah, you're not chanting japa. Krishna's chanting your japa. Krishna's giving you the power to chant, giving you the mercy, giving you the permission to chant so many. He's actually allowing you to chant japa. You're not the doer. Krishna's doing the bhakti. It's like the same thing in Gita. Krishna told Arjuna, he even showed him in 11th chapter of Gita. He said, why are you afraid to pick up your Gandiva and shoot the arrows? I'll show you that the guys are already killed. And so he showed Viratrupa, and Krishna was chomping down on all the Kauravas. In the mouth of Viratrupa, all the Kauravas were being eaten up by Krishna, Vishnu. Arjuna was like, oh. He was dumbfounded, stunned. And after Krishna said that, showed that Krishna told Arjuna, simply nimitta matram, being an instrument in my hands. I'm going to pull your bow, your Gandiva. You have the name Gandivaraj, but I'm pulling the bow, I'm driving the chariot, I'm pulling the arrow, I'm chanting, the mantra is me. On the mantra, on the dana, on the bana, on the arrow, on the bow, on the chariot. I'm doing everything. Just say yes. So Arjuna always did say yes. That's so sweet. He became a servant and everything was done. So when you become a servant of Krishna, everything is done. We just have to be a servant. Jaya Sri Krishna Das. Gaudiya Vaisnava Das Dana Das Dana Das. That's the answer. We don't go to anyone. That's a very confidential thing. You're not supposed to tell anything. When you're going to do something, you don't tell anyone. You do it and then it's done. It becomes its own advertising. If it's to be known, it's known. It's to be unknown, it's unknown. Look at Shaji Mandir. Have you ever been to Shaji Mandir? Shaji Mandir is in Vrindavan near Nidhivan, on the way to Radha Raman. And there's a famous saint, rich person, I forget the name, but he built that temple for Radha Raman. He was a Radha Raman Bhakta. He made a very kingly estate, beautiful place. And when they're making the temple, on the entrance foyer, on the outside there's steps, then there's a foyer, then you go into the temple. And the Radha Raman didn't go there because this rich person who built the temple, great devotee, he made an oversight. He made a mandir, he made a dining room for the Radha Raman, he made a bedroom, he made a garden house, he made a fountain, he made many things there for the pleasure of Radha Raman. His Baba was a Radha Raman, we moved from place to place like a king. King has his bathroom, his bedroom, his living room, his dining room, his porch, his veranda, everything. So he made an elaborate kingly estate for Radha Raman. But he didn't make any rooms for the pujaris. He didn't make any rooms for the Goswamis, for Radha Raman pujaris. So when he asked Radha Raman committee to move the deity down the street to this beautiful temple, they said, Radha Raman's not going to go because there's no place for us to live there. So he said, okay, what do I do? So he made a second murti that are called Chota Radha Raman. I think it's called Chota Radha Raman. But the point I want to make is, on the floor of the entrance, he had the marble workers make pictures of him and his wife and kids. And to see some human beings in the marble. And he did that because he wanted all the yatris, all the pilgrims, all the bhaktas to step on him. He wanted to spread the charna raj from the Vaishnavas. They would walk on the way in. You have to step on his head, step on his body of his wife and kids and him to enter the temple. This shows the importance of the Vaishnava. To get to Krishna, you have to go through the Vaishnava. So to do your vrata, you have to get the mercy of the Guru. That's the conclusion of that question. So, what else we have? You have an internet question?
Yes, Guru.
Okay. Wait a second. Dadaji, you have a question? Raji, you have a question? You're a senior person, you're quite senior. Okay, let's see answer that.
Maharaj, in a class in January 2023, you quoted Satyanarayana Das Babaji Maharaj said that hearing exalted topics is like teaching music to a deaf man. How can one enter into Raganuga Bhakti, yet at the same time acknowledge that one is fundamentally unqualified, like the deaf man?
The question is, how can one enter Raganuga Bhakti if one understands that one is unqualified? In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the first wave, second chapter, from verse 270 to 309, Rupa Goswami describes this practice of the sadhana called Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. The verse 1 through 270, through 269, he describes how to practice Vaidhi Sadhana, basic Bhakti. Aparats and deity worship, 10 aparats, and many things are there. So when he starts describing Raganuga Bhakti, he says, the basic beginning of Rag is Lova, greed. You have greed to follow a Brijvasi. Raganuga Bhakti takes you to Vrindavan. The Gaudiya Sampradaya is a Raganuga Bhakti Sampradaya. It's supposed to be that way. This is what Lord Chaitanya came to give, came to teach, and the six Goswamis described how to do it. Lord Chaitanya gave the outline. So in that description, he says, when one hears about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, hears bhajans, reads the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, reads about Krishna and Radharani in any book, anywhere, and becomes attracted and interested from the heart, not a mental, oh, I should do it, it's popular, it's very popular now to follow Rag Bhakti, I should do it. No, from the heart, you hardly want to follow the Brijvasis, especially in a particular Stairati. I want to follow Radharani and Krishna and the Gopis. I like them. I like the way they move. I like their dealings. I like their fun they share and the pastimes they engage in. I want to be part of that from my heart. That's called greed. That's called lova. It's called spiritual greed, to be in Vrindavan with a particular Brijvasi, group of Brijvasis, in a particular mood of love. It's called Sthai Rati. Rati means loving attachment for Krishna. Doesn't say anything about qualification. Doesn't matter whether you're greedy or lusty or angry or all kinds of anarthas and even your full rods. If you have this greed, that's the entrance fee. That's the entrance qualification to begin Rag Bhakti. And the proof that you have this Rag Bhakti, Rupa Goswami says, if you don't care what anybody says, somebody will say, oh, you have to be a pure devotee to practice Rag Bhakti. You have to be on the level of Nishtha. You have to be Nishtha Bhakti. You have to be a level of Ruchi. You have to be a Bhava Bhakta. Then you can practice Rag. It's not taught by that anywhere. And by Vishnu Chakravarti, by Raghunath Das, by any Goswami, especially Rupa Goswami. It's the greed, the heart attraction, magnetic attraction of the heart. I want to be there. I want to live in Vrindavan, mentally, physically, eternally, and with Radha and Krishna, the Gopis and Manjaris, and serve them, be with them, love with them, serve them. And nothing can stop you. It's like there's a term in football. When the quarterback throws the football to the running back, and the guy catches the ball and runs with it, then he puts his arm out like this. He holds the football in his powerful right arm. He puts his left arm out. It's called straight arm. And that arm becomes like an iron rod. He runs down the field. Anybody tries to tackle him and get him down on the ground, stop his run, that iron rod knocks him out. He locks his elbow and becomes like steel, and it's called straight arm. So Raganuga Bhakta is like a football player running down the gridiron with his arm locked out. Get out of my way, Jack. You're like a Lambo going down the freeway. Lamborghini. So we can stop him. Because he's coming from the heart. It's not a mental thing. It's not rules and regulation. It's heart. And this is the most important. That's why bhakti on the path of Rag is very powerful and very quick advancement. So, the idea is we always feel unqualified, but somehow if we get that greed by the mercy of, because in that same chapter, the last verse of the first wave, second chapter, 309, says, what does it say? Bhakta Karunya, Bhagavad Karunya, Lova, yeah, Lova Matrika Hetuka. The only cause of greed is the mercy of a Bhakta or Bhagavan. Generally it's Bhakta. Very rare that Bhagavan directly inspires your heart, but he may. So you meet a Raganuga Bhakta, and his rag becomes contagious. And you hear the Hari Katha, you become like a bee with flower. The flowers got nectar and honey in it. The bee is hovering there, drinking the nectar and honey. It's from the flower. The flower is the Rag Bhakta. So this is the thing. It's an irresistible attraction of the heart. This is Rag. It's rare, but if you have it, consider yourself fortunate. Thank your stars, as they say, and don't listen to critical opinion. Doesn't mean, and another interesting thing in the same part of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which a lot of people don't understand, they think Rag Bhakti means no rules, regulation. Just do your thing. Spontaneous devotion. That is what Rupa Goswami said. He said in Rag Bhakti you follow all the rules and regulations of Vaidhi Bhakti. But the difference between Rag Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti is the inspirational force. One is inspired by Rag, heart inspiration. Others inspired by duty and fear and mental attachment to Shastra, Vidhi, injunction. Shastra is saying I should do this, otherwise I go to hell. I should become a dog next life. So many Shastra warnings are there. For example, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sanat Goswami quotes a verse from Purana. It says, Bina Diksha Pashayoni Janam. If a human being doesn't take Diksha from a guru, he becomes born next life in the womb of an animal. Diksha Bina Pashu Yoni Janam. It's right in Sanskrit in Hari Bhakti Vilas, second Vilas. So that's the Vidhi, that's the Nisheda, that's the rule of Shastra. So we read that, oh, I better get that. I don't want to be born, I don't want to be a doggy next life, a monkey. I better get a guru and get Diksha. So the motivation for Diksha is fear and selfishness. I don't want to be a dog. So then you go to some guru and say, oh, Guru Dev, I want to get Diksha. And so you get Diksha and then you're covered, it's like your life insurance policy. But someone else, he hears that you have to get Raganuga Bhakti from a Rag Guru. So then he tries to find a Rag Guru. And he wants to get Diksha so he can get the heart of the Rag Bhakta through the Diksha mantra, through the Shiksha and Diksha, and creep out of the Guru. So the motivation, the inspiration is different. One is, I want to love and serve Krishna like a gopi. The other one's, I don't want to be a dog. So Rag Bhakti is a beautiful gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the Gaudiya Vaisnava. Other Vaishnavas also practicing Rag Bhakti. But Gaudiya Vaishnavas are especially supposed to practice Rag Bhakti. Historically and traditionally, every Gaudiya Vaishnava was practically a Rag Bhakta. Another question? Any question? Roger? No. Okay, you have a question? Yeah.
What is the process to enhance or increase our feelings of separation towards Radha?
Question is asked, what is the way to increase our feeling of separation from what? From Radha and Krishna. If you become attached to them. You can't feel separated from someone unless you're attached to them. I don't feel separated from you. I don't know you. I'm not attached to you. But if I'm married for 40 years, I may feel separation from my wife. That's natural. That's expected. Because I'm attached. I know her. I love her. I serve her. She served me for 40 years. So we have to know Krishna and Radharani. We have to become attached to them before we can feel separation. So increase your separation. You have to increase your attachment. So how do you increase your attachment? By reading more about Radha and Krishna. Get your hands to every book about Radha and Krishna in Russian or English or Italian, whatever your language is, and read it. There's so many books about Radha and Krishna. I got 10 of them at least, myself, I wrote. You read about Radha and Krishna day and night, you hear about Radha and Krishna day and night. Just like if you're married, you have a wife, you hear about her day and night. You talk to her day and night. You serve her day and night, she serves you day and night. You hear her, you read about her, you think about her, you write to her, you send messages to her. So you get very attached. So do the same thing with Radha and Krishna. You always hear Radha and Krishna bhajans, always read about Radha and Krishna, always hear all this tapes and CDs and everything. And MP3s and what do we call it? Telephones. You can hear 24 hours a day, hear about Radha and Krishna. That's the only thing to hear about. What else matters? Everything else is ephemeral, temporary, meaningless. Everything else is going to go, poof, disappear. The body, the world, everyone around us. You come into the world with nothing, you only go out with your bob. You leave this body only with your bob in your heart. Your Ishtadev within your mind. That's all you have when you leave. So drop a bob in your heart, and your Ishta in your conscious chitta. Drop a bob in your heart, and your Ishta in your chitta. Your worshipful God, Bhagavan, in your mind and heart, in your chitta, subconscious mind. So get with it. Like they say, chant 16 rounds a day. Why do they say read 16 hours a day? Read about Radha Krishna 16 hours a day. What do you think will happen? So chant 16 rounds, that's 2 hours. Read 16 hours about Radha Krishna. That's 18 hours. Let's say 6. There you go. How long will it take you to get attached to Radha Krishna? 16 hours a day read about Radha Krishna. Chant 60 rounds for 2 hours, that's 18 hours. 6 hours, dream about Radha Krishna. Guarantee in 3 months you'll go back to God. But where does that time go? We don't know. Time flies. Cell phone. Bad for the eyes, bad for the mind, bad for the heart. Okay, Radhe Shah. Any other question? Yeah, Baba.
I have some prasadam to distribute.
Oh yeah. What time is it?
It's there when,
You're going to reside?
no, I have boxes of prasadam for all the Vaishnavas.
5:30.
Okay, our class goes till 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So what should we do?
So after the class.
Okay, 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, let's.
Second question.
How many questions? Okay, let's see. We'll try to finish this question. Okay, go ahead.
Maharaj, you said in a lecture that at the time of initiation, Guru gives the Siddhadeha and later Krishna reveals that Siddhadeha to the practitioner at the level of Bhava. Could you please explain this process in more detail?
The question is asked about explaining the process of Guru giving Siddhadeha a Diksha, and later that Siddhadeha is revealed at Bhava. Well, first of all, very rarely Gurus give Siddhadeha a Diksha. I have some disciples I've given Siddhadeha to, it wasn't a Diksha. That's the first point. It's not my standard to do that. When I got initiation from my Guru, I got Diksha and Siddhadeha and everything at one time, because I was already practicing Bhakti for 42 years before I met my Baba Guru. So everything is Kaladesha Patra, individual circumstances. But generally, Siddhadeha is not given at the time of Diksha. One point I want to make also is that the love, whether one gets Siddhadeha from Guru, or whether one gets Siddhadeha in a dream or by the mercy of chanting Hari Krishna mantra, or gets Siddhadeha at the time of death like Narada Muni, the first canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 6, verse 29, Vishnu bought Siddhadeha and gave it to Narada Muni at the time of death. It says, what's the verse? Prayuchabana. Anyway, he says that Vishnu bought Siddhadeha at the time of death. So the point is, if someone is chanting Hare Krishna and comes to the level of Bhava Bhakti, whatever particular Siddhadeha they're desiring or meditating on, Krishna will reveal that to them. Even if they haven't gotten the Siddhadeha from Guru in the form of initiation or directly from Guru. That's the power of Bhava Bhakti. Because Bhava Bhakti, to attain Bhava Bhakti, the Srup Shakti of Krishna has to descend from a parishad in the spiritual world, enter the heart of the sadhaka to make a sufficient Vishuddha Sattva environment so a Siddhadeha can manifest there. The Guru gives a Siddhadeha to a disciple before he or she left the Bhava, then that Siddhadeha has to be captured in the mind by constant meditation as a daily practice, and still one has to come to Bhava to see it directly. Although while you're doing sadhana bhakti before Bhava, you got swarti or some momentary vision of your spiritual form. So the process of how the Guru gets Siddhadeha, that's a confidential experience between the Guru and qualified disciple. Let us see, next question.
Let's go. Continuation of that, he is asking Gurudev. What if the practitioner doesn't reach the level of Bhava in this life?
What is the sadhaka? If the sadhaka doesn't attain Bhava in this life, he takes birth again.
Yeah, so he is continuing that. Does this not render the receiving of Siddhadeha premature or incongruent with their current spiritual development?
Wait a minute, I don't follow the question. Anyway, I think I got it. I'll answer it. If one takes another birth, when you take another birth, you can look at verse 6, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 44. It says, what does it say? Huh? Yeah, Purva Abhyasena Yavasha, Vidya Yavasha. the Purvabhyasena, automatically, you have Ashu. Ashu means quickly. Ridya. Quickly, automatically from the heart, you'll be attracted to the abhyas, the sadhana you practiced in your previous life. Purvabhyasena Ridyate Yavasha. So whatever you attain in this life, you'll be born, you'll be Bhakta, what is it, Bhakta? There was some Bhakta Varsana was like a Prima Bhakta when he's 4 years old or something. Bhakta Bandhu or something like that, I forget. So your next life, you'll again meet your guru. Your guru will come in another form and teach you more, and you come to Bhava Bhakti in your next life. And you start off wherever, like you become 40% Krishna conscious in this life. Next life you start at 41%. So by the time you're 7 years old, you'll be above Bhakti. Possibly. Look at Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was in Prema. 7th Canto Bhagavatam describes Prahlad Maharaj. So in the womb of Kayadu. In the womb of Kayadu, Hiranyakashipu's wife, he was hearing Bhagavat Puran by Narada Muni. He was doing Bhakti, Shravana. He came out, he was an already level of Bhava. He gradually came to Prema, exhibited symptoms of Prema at 5 years old. Prahlad Maharaj was 5 years old, Prema Bhakti. So there's nothing to fear, nothing to worry. What's next one?
Done, Guru.
Done. Any other question, anybody else? Radha, any questions?
Very, very heavy class today. Very, very powerful points.
Thank you. Bobby, you have a question?
No, I have something related to what he asked, though, about the creating attachment, like an experience.
Yeah, okay.
What helped me create attachment is just my direct experience. I read Bhavanar Sangra over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like so many times. After the 5th time, I got so bored reading this book, and I forced it. And I knew the boredom was something inside of me, not the leelas, right? And I just plowed through it, my boredom. And on the other side of that boredom, oh, I got too sweet. I never imagined anything could be like that. Now when I read it, I can barely read a paragraph before I get dizzy, right? It's too sweet. So in the process of doing this, I realized that there was a block inside of me why I didn't want to keep doing it. So I used my willpower to force the Leela. Even though I didn't want to read it, I would sit there and force it. And then on the other side of that, the reality came once I got through my own garbage. Anyway, that's my experience.
Thank you for that.
You got to fight yourself.
Yeah, it's because Krishna tests your desire. You want to experience separation. As I said, you have to experience attachment.
Yeah.
First work on detachment. The separation will be automatic. As like Prabhupada used to say, we want to be a Goswami. So Goswamis are glorified. Chaktva Turanam Ashesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sadatutra. Bhutva Dina Ganeshiko Krunya Kopina Kantashito Gopi Baba Rasamri Tabdi Lari Kalodo Magna Mohur Vande Rupa Snatana Rupa Goshi Gopal. They wore Kobins and Kanta. They wore Kobin yogi underwear and a blanket. But how did they get to that state of renunciation? They didn't do that first. First they became absorbed in Gopi Baba Rasamri Tapti Lahari. They were Lahari, they were riding in the waves of Gopi Baba, absorbed in Gopi Baba, and then they could give up everything. So how do you become absorbed in separation from Radha Krishna, first you become absorbed in attachment to Radha Krishna. So this story is saying, I read Radha Krishna's Leela so much that I lost my interest in them. And so I was thinking, my mind rejected these Leelas. I don't want to read these Leelas anymore. Then I realized that was a test from Krishna, testing my determination. So I said, no, this is Maya. Maya is trying to keep me from Krishna. Because these Leelas are directly Sakshat Radha and Krishna. When you're reading Radha Krishna Leelas, you're in the Leela, you're right there. And so that's very dangerous and very nectarian also. It's dangerous because it means you're going to leave the material world. But it's nectarian because you're entering the eternal world of bliss. So Maya wants to keep you bound in the world of birth and death. So she doesn't want to let go of you. So she creates obstacles, hurdles, and impediments to absorbing oneself in Bhakti Bhajan at the highest level of Leela Smaran, Leela Dhyan. Leela Dhyan and Leela Smaran is the highest level of Bhakti. So it's the most relish, the most taste, the most bliss. But it's danger because Maya is going to lose one prisoner. We are prisoners of Maya for million lifetimes. So she does everything she can to trip us up, to block our path. So we have to say no to Maya and yes to Leela. Like America, they used to have a sign on the San Diego freeway with a big needle in a guy's arm. It said, say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. Don't shoot heroin. You know, don't shoot heroin in your veins. Say no to drugs. So we should have a big signboard. Say no to Maya. So you want to feel separation from Radha Krishna, you have to force yourself to read Leela over and over again. I'll share a story of mine with you. I got the Krishna book in 1974. It's 90 chapters. I used to read it. I used to read all the chapters except chapter 87. Chapter 87 is called Shruti Stuti. It's prayers by the personified Vedas. It's all philosophy. Philosophy and Tantra. And I said, oh my God, so much philosophy and Tantra. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't touch it with my heart. I just skip it. So for like 10 years, I kept reading Krishna book over and over again, skipping that. One day I got courageous. I said, okay, 10 years I read Krishna book, not 87. So one day I said, okay, I think I got the courage. So I read chapter 87, I fell in love with it. I said, wow, this is such tattva, such siddhanta. So then I really like it. It's my favorite chapter. Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe. And that's it. I think our friend Rajiv Das has some